My name's Kevin from Swansea, South Carolina, a little small town. My question kind of comes from a different angle what he's coming from. The Bible instructs us to give Caesar what Caesar is due. Okay, you have a history in tax attorney. You also have done a lot of studies on the Constitution. So I'm going to take it to where your goal is as president. If so, and what can we do, what can you do to change the tax system that we have in place now when you have companies such as BP that, as the media reports or fails to report, pay very few dollars in federal income tax, if any, when they're a huge billion-dollar profit corporation. Whereas, my understanding is individual tax is only a little bit, if any. Corporate companies are supposed to pay the majority of our income taxes. And I think it's been reversed because studies show that only about 63 to 67% of corporations are actually paying federal income tax. What can we do to change that?
Well, the tax code is something that I would consider a job-killing tax code. It's not creating jobs, it's killing jobs. And there are so many perverse incentives in the tax code for companies that they are incentivized to look for every way to get around doing what they should be doing, and that's focusing on their business and growing their businesses. That's what they should be doing. The tax code is approximately 3.8 million words. It is almost incomprehensible and impossible to deal with. It's very difficult. I know when I worked as a federal tax litigation attorney, there was one day when I had one tax case, and I called to Washington, D.C. to ask someone at the IRS about 14 words in the tax code. One little tiny section, 14 words. And we had our conversation, and after we had our conversation, I hung up the phone, I turned around in my chair, and I thought to myself, if Washington, D.C. can afford to hire one bureaucrat just to interpret 14 words out of 3.8 million words, we don't stand a chance out here in America, whether you're a business or whether you're an individual. Government and the bureaucracy have gotten so big and so complicated in the tax code that it requires a veritable phalanx of lawyers to figure it out. What we need to do, in my opinion, is abolish the current tax code completely. And we have to adopt something that is very simple, very flat, and very fair. Because I believe every American benefits by being safe and secure by our military. We all benefit by the road system. We all benefit by the court system. We all benefit by national parks, for instance. We benefit from that. Part of the problem is today only 53% of Americans pay any federal income tax at all. 47% pay nothing. We need to broaden the base so that everybody pays something, even if it's $1. Everyone should pay something because we all benefit. But it needs to be simple to understand, it needs to be very fair, and it needs to be flat, and it doesn't meet any of those tests today. We have the second highest corporate tax rate in the world today. If you combine it with the state corporate taxes, America easily can have the highest corporate tax rate when you combine those two. So if you want to know why we aren't seeing job creation in the United States, look no further than the tax code. Because depending upon your company and depending upon the special breaks you get in the tax code, some companies pay a lot of money in tax, where others don't. It just depends what the breaks are. I don't think that the federal government's business is to choose winners and losers in the private sector. They shouldn't favor one industry over another. Industry should be able to stand on its own. Pay your fair share, just like individuals, and go that way. Go that direction. So that's what I would do. This is a bold step, but we are in need of bold time. And we need to have a bold action where we dramatically reform the tax code so that it no longer is punishing people and punishing job creation. We want pro-growth policies, and this isn't getting it. Thanks for that question.